Folks, you asked for this. I asked you about 2 months ago if you would like to do a 3-hour session with Mr. Dan Bird to get into technical analysis, risk management, sizing, and if you'd like an hour or so of him to look at your stocks. He has graciously agreed. We have now set July 16th as the date, Sunday, July 16th, from 8 to 11 a.m. This is a paid event. It is
Pacific time.
Pacific time. Yes, Pacific time. Thank you. It is a paid event, $47. There will be a link below. It's on Eventbrite. This is also, I set up the room for 200. I expected 200 folks, so it could be the largest one rental at a time event. We do have 28 seats already selected, so just realize the sooner you sign up, the sooner you will get it. Also, something I do for everyone is I will give you the video after so you can watch the replay. This is going to be specifically important for this because I have worked with Dan Bird for almost 20 years. And when he gets into something that he loves and knows better than most, he just pours out the information. Most people can't keep up, myself included. So I know that I will have to listen to this replay. So even if you can't make the event from 8 to 11 on the 16th Pacific, you should buy it so you get the recording. Dan, you've actually been gracious enough to put your thoughts on paper, and we have a PowerPoint. But anything you want to say before I pull it up to kind of tease people with what's coming?
Yeah, it's basically going to be sort of putting a lot of what we talked about here in just basically 30 minute sessions, putting some context around it and helping some folks. And it might be repetitive for people that have done it for quite a while, but for some folks, helping them understand what technical analysis really is and how it compares with fundamental analysis. And I'm not suggesting one is better than the other, but it's just basically an educational portion. And then that's in the first part. And then the second part, I'll go through what you talked about, the risk calculator, how to size your positions, how to make sure you don't lose money, how you start making money.
Yeah.
And some of the platforms that I use just to give folks a sense for what they do for me. And then I'm going to have a special announcement, which we'll actually touch on today a little bit as well.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that people will get from this event. And again, even if you can't attend, you should get it so you have access to it after. And the other thing to realize is Dan Bird has an entire playlist on this channel that you can go back and watch what he's talked about for the last year and a half. And let's just put it out there. He has been right a lot more than he has been wrong. He has been right even in the face of some generally bad economic information. So again, past performance is no guarantee of future. I get it. But let's give the man his flowers. He has been right a heck of a lot more than he's been wrong. So I don't know about you. I would like to see what he does. So Dan, let me bring up the PowerPoint that you created.
And by the way, just a comment on that. It's really important if you're getting into trading, stock trading, to not care about being right.
Yes.
You don't want to be right. You just want to make money.
Yeah, I love that. Yes. I love that. So Dan, I love the slide you put together. Again, the bull, very just front and center there. This is it, right? July 16th, 8 to 11 Pacific Daylight Time. I think there's so much in this that's going to be powerful. Why don't you just break down the sections one more time, kind of with this PowerPoint so they can see it?
Yeah, and I'll start putting this out in my newsletter as well. But like I mentioned, section 1 is just Technical Analysis 101, fundamentals versus technicals. It's basically going to build from the bottom up. Most important thing is price and volume. And then how do you determine resistance and support levels? Moving averages. The next one is momentum indicators, then relative strength. And I actually added one more in here, which is introduction to candles.
Oh, nice.
We'll just touch on candles a little bit and how to read them and what they mean. And then section 2, and this probably will take less than an hour. I think this might be 45 minutes for section 1.
Dan, you and I have been working a long time together. I'm going to say that section 1 will be 70 minutes. Just
all right.
I know what happens when you get excited about something.
We'll put some money on that. We'll put some money on that.
Okay.
I also can be very concise because I'm going to put slides. I'm going
You
to put
can.
slides together for these, and usually my slide decks are
No, they are.
pretty.
I'm actually saying that to give you extra impetus to be tight. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, well, I plan to be, especially on this first section, because there will be people that already understand a lot of this.
Yeah,
So I'm
true,
not going
true.
to spend a lot of time on it. I'm just going to
Okay.
basically build it from the bottom up of how to
Mhm.
look at charts. Section
Okay.
2 will probably take a little bit more time. This is where I'm going to spend some time on the risk management 101.
I'm so glad you got that in there. Again, people can go back to your playlist, and the first, I don't know, dozen videos was you educating me on the risk calculator. I'm
Yeah.
so happy that made the cut. It's an anchor. I think the risk calculator, positioning, sizing, stops will help people control the losses, which is what I failed out miserably when I was trading 15 years ago.
Yes, that is really important. If you're doing risk management correctly, then number one, you won't lose all of your money,
Correct.
right? You might lose a little bit of your money, but you won't lose all of your money. You'll be able to come back and fight another day.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, if the market is going opposite of what you expect, and most people typically like to be long. So if we use that as the example, if the market starts going down, then risk management will naturally get you out of all of your positions. So all of a
Yeah.
sudden you'll just be in cash.
Yep. I
And
love
then
that. I just love that.
you just wait for the market to come back again. And then we'll talk about some of the platforms that I use: Stock Charts, VectorVest, Earnings Beats,
Yep.
and how I use those. And
I love
section
that.
3 will be at least an hour on this one. This is just be an open forum for anybody that's attending. We can.
I have had questions on this. I've already given my answers, but I'd love to hear from you. This is really where people will bring individual stocks. You will look at the stock chart and you will make a call based on the chart. Is that correct?
I will give you my interpretation of the chart,
Right.
of how I see the chart.
Right.
That does not necessarily mean that it will be in alignment with what other people might think about that particular stock.
Yeah, you won't
I'm
know
just
it.
going to give my.
You won't
I'm
make a
not
comment on
making
their
a
business.
recommendation to buy or
Right.
sell. It's just
Nope.
my interpretation of what I see
Right.
in the chart, and maybe point out some things based on my experience with technical analysis. But it doesn't have to just be stocks.
Okay.
So some folks might want to talk about the inverted yield curve,
Okay.
or the dollar, which we'll talk about a little bit today on the next session.
Okay.
If you want to talk about other economic factors
Sure.
that play into the market as well, we can discuss those too. But it's really just an open forum for folks that have paid to attend, to give them a chance to join the conversation, which typically they don't do on sessions like this that we're doing on Sundays.
Right.
So it's an opportunity to actually open it up, have a two-way conversation.
Absolutely. They'll get to ask you specific questions. I want to, one person asked, hey, would he look at my options strategy? And I'm like, no, that's not what we're doing here. That's not.
I mean, I might make some comments about it, but I don't do options all the time. So I do use options occasionally. So I wouldn't say that I'm an expert in options, but
let's keep this.
There are
about
some things
stocks.
about options that are standard fundamentals. So.
Yeah, we're not going to get any advanced strategies. We're not going to do any of that. This is trying to get people from 0 to 1.
Yeah.
Right. If you already happen to be at 1 and you're trying to get to 6, Dan could probably help you get there, but that's not what this event is about. That, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's meant as a foundational, educational, and then risk management component, and then mostly it's for the listeners to open it up and have a two-way conversation.
Yeah. And really, for me, this is the audience asked for it. I mean, I asked them, I don't know, 6 or 8 weeks ago, who do you want to have another Sunday session with? And you were by far the highest. And I went out and bought a bigger room, right? I usually only do 100. I did increase it to 200 for this. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, be nice to fill it up. It'll be fun. I've got the next 3 weeks, I guess.
3 weeks, I think, exactly.
Got to put my slides together.
There you go. Well, Dan, I appreciate you doing this.
I feel like I'm working for you again.
Yes, folks, I was lucky enough to work directly with Dan Bird a couple of different times. He is the best of the best. So, Dan, thank you for doing all you do. There will be a link below to the Eventbrite. Again, $47. Buy your ticket now. You will get the recording after. Promise you, you're going to want it. Buy it
And,
even if you can't attend, so you can get the
And
video.
let me share just, oh, you don't have me sharing.
I'm sorry. No, you
Let
do.
me share my newsletter because I'm going to also put it in the newsletter each week,
There you go.
the next 3 weeks.
Go for it.
So, there might be folks that got the newsletter a year ago
Yeah,
that might not be tuning into the channel
sure.
every week. So can you see that?
I can.
Okay. So if you're interested, just send me an email to breakpointtrading@gmail.com and I'll add you to the list for the newsletter. And this will be advertised in there as well for the next 3 weeks.
There you go. I look forward to it, man. Folks, trust me, you will want to be with this, and you really will want the video because you will watch it again and again. Dan, thank you so much. We will get into our normal recording now. Thanks, buddy.
Sounds great. Thanks.